is it possible that in the pursuit for justice, policymaking can justify favoritism toward a certain demographic category, rather value their work performance and their merit? Can diversity and inclusion policymaking favoritism transition your policies from justice for all by applying injustice to others? Well, there has been an explosion of ideas on diversity and inclusion in the workplace. However, these ideas are not clear or well defined in business literature. However, it is in the name of justice. Companies attempt to reduce disparities by aligning company values to the social system in which it operates. But without a clear and well-defined approach to achieve diversity and inclusion, how do we know when the pursuit of justice is actually an injustice? Well, justice should be fair, impartial, and based on merit. And these three factors have shown to build a healthy, competitive, and innovative company by valuing every employee in the company. And it is this justice that encourages those positive work behaviors in the workplace. Also, numerous quantitative studies have shown that employees of all demographics admit that policies that are based on their work performance and their merit is deemed fair, and fairness improves their commitment to the company. So what does it mean for justice to be impartial? Well, impartial policies and procedures must not show favoritism to a particular demographic or group in the workplace. Therefore, impartial policies are just and absent of biases and stereotypes. And as a result, impartial policymaking fosters teamwork in the workplace, and it also helps employees come together and work toward a common goal. But what happens if diversity and inclusion practices go unchecked or not evaluated? Is it possible that the explosion of ideas on what is diversity and inclusion has led companies to favor certain demographics over their performance and their merit? Well, the social identity approach teaches that employees will categorize each other into us versus them, and they are in opposition of each other in the workplace. Do employees use this approach for policies that favor an employee's demographic category over their performance? So rather than include employees based on merit and performance to promote justice, policy favoritism excludes unfavorable demographics based on the society in which it operates, and rewards not based on merit will degrade job performance. So diversity and inclusion favoritism in your policy making actually creates opposition and exclude others in the workplace. Therefore, diversity and inclusion practices that favor a demographic over performance and merit is known as a distributive injustice. Consequently, instead of an employee having cohesiveness and healthy competition to drive performance, policy making that favors an employee demographic over performance and merit actually creates opposition in the workplace. And without properly evaluating diversity and inclusion practices, favoritism can also be applied, and stereotypes and biases may justify policies based on an employee's demographic difference. And this has been widely accepted as the term discrimination when any policy creates us versus them power dynamics in the workplace. Diversity and inclusion without proper evaluation can show favoritism toward a particular demographic. Therefore, it is appropriate to evaluate diversity and inclusion by the division it creates in the workplace. Why? Because policies that show favor by dividing demographic categories is segregation, and this is an injustice. Injustice in the workplace increases stress and anxiety in every employee demographic category and damages both their professional and their personal interactions. Furthermore, injustice has shown to adversely impact the mental health of employees in all demographic categories. Why? Because employees view any policy or procedure that creates an unfair advantage and meritless reward as an injustice. Therefore, diversity and inclusion practices that divide employees based on a favorable and unfavorable demographic group will also degrade their morale and increase conflict in the workplace. Consequently, this conflict creates stress and anxiety that employees will take home to their personal relationship when any diversity or inclusion favoritism devalues their group to favor another. So research has shown that by placing value in an employee's demographic group rather than their performance and merit will decrease job efficiency. So companies should evaluate diversity and inclusion practices by the division it creates between employees, because justice will become camouflaged in the absence of a distributive injustice evaluation method in the workplace. Distributive injustice policies will also increase workplace violence between employees. And inclusion policies that will favor a particular employee demographic erodes the communication with employees excluded from that policy that you implemented in the workplace. Performance and merit should outweigh policy favoritism for a certain demographic over another, and companies should evaluate diversity and inclusion practices to prevent favoritism, discrimination, and exclusion of any employee demographic in policymaking, because this will not be in the pursuit of justice, but diversity and inclusion will exclude and apply injustices. So justice in the workplace will allow for performance and merit to drive success and productivity, and the rewards based on performance and goal achievement will produce healthy competition in the workplace. So companies should rely on merit as a method to acknowledge and reward valuable contributions to the company. And research findings reveal that all employees, regardless of their demographic category, will accept policies based on performance and merit as fair and set the rules of the game for all to succeed. So in conclusion, eliminate diversity and inclusion practices that may favor an employee's demographic category over merit and performance. Or you may apply favoritism to pursue justice in the workplace by defending injustices on others.